Hey, hello. Welcome back. It's Christine Parma of ChristineParma.com. I have a question for you. How do you define success? That's what today's live broadcast is all about, because everybody seems to be striving to be successful and to make a success of themselves. And even for myself, I didn't really stop and think, really, what does that mean? How do you define success? What is your definition of success? Because if it's this thing that you're working really hard to become successful, or you're really trying hard to become a success, don't you think you should kind of know what the definition of success is for you? Now, the traditional definition of success usually revolves around money, wealth, accomplishing goals, accomplishing something. And, that's definitely valid. And I think that a lot of people look at success only from that perspective, only through that lens. And I want to give you a different take on that today. So if you don't know who I am, like I said, I'm Christine Parma, and I help ambitious mompreneurs build their profitable businesses without sacrificing everything that matters most to them along the way. You can find out more about me at ChristineParma.com. And I definitely want to hear your thoughts on success during today's live stream. If you're joining live, or if you're catching the replay, then you can definitely leave your comments in the comment area below, and I will respond to you personally. So let's get into this. To me, success means doing more of what matters most to you. Have you ever thought about success that way? I'm curious. You can type yes in the comments below, or tell me how you think about success, what your definition of success is. So to me, it means doing more of what matters most, because ultimately, that's how we're happy, right? Doing more of what matters most to us is how we feel like we're leading lives that are meaningful and that are fulfilling to us. So, my question to you would be, do you know what matters most to you? Have you really given it some serious, deep thought? It's really easy to default to thinking about success. Oh, well, when I make $1 million, then I'll be successful. Or I just want to make more money, even more general. I just want to get a promotion, or I just want to hit this goal. And if you look at success from that small of a perspective, or just that limited of a view, then I think you're kind of robbing yourself of the broader experience of being successful and feeling successful, even when you haven't yet reached that $1 million, even when you haven't yet gotten that promotion you wanted or reached that goal. Because if you are leading your life and in a way in which you do the things that really truly matter to you, the things that align with your values, like spending more time with your kids, or spending time in nature, or getting together with friends, being with family. If you are doing those things, then kind of by definition, you're already successful, aren't you? In a whole lot of ways. So I think people kind of set themselves up to feel bad by saying, okay, I'm only a success when I've made $1 million, or I'm only a success when something happens. And then that, I think, can put you in the mindset of feeling like a failure while you're striving to get to that one thing that you've made a success be for you. So what would happen if you broadened your version or your definition of success and included things that are maybe simpler, that reflect your personal value set, that give you enjoyment and pleasure and nourish and feed your soul, on a day-to-day basis? I would love to hear what some of those are. You can type them in the comments below. I'll tell you what a couple of mine are. What nourishes and feeds my soul is the work I do with clients. That really nourishes and feeds my soul. That's why I'm doing the work I am, because I'm helping other people to step into their own brilliance and recognize their own brilliance and put their brilliance out into the world in a way where they can connect with the people who want and need their help. And so they get to feel great about expressing their gifts and their creativity. Another thing that makes me feel successful every day is spending time with my kids. For the most part, when my kids get home from school, from the time they get home from school until the time they go to bed, I'm spending it with them. I'm playing with them. No matter how long my business to-do list is, I am setting aside that time to be with them, because you know what? At the end of the day, if 10 things didn't get done on my to-do list because I spent time with my kids, what matters most? What matters more to me, my to-do list or my kids? The reality is, if you're an entrepreneur and you're in business for yourself, sometimes that to-do list can really feel like, oh my gosh, I have to, get those things done, and I don't have time to play with the kids. Occasionally when you're launching, you may need to squeeze in a little bit more time for your to-do list and sit the kids in front of a nice movie or something like that. But for the most part, what I find fulfilling and is a great reminder to me every day of what truly matters to me is playing with my kids. Also taking care of myself, self-care. It's so easy, no matter, who you are, to put off your self-care and put it on the back burner to everything else that's going on in your life, whether it's your kids, other people, your job, that extremely long to-do list that you have, and self-care can go on the back burner. And, if you burn out along your journey to success, and you arrive at your success all frazzled and exhausted, then was it really a success? I would ask you that. Was it really a success? So make sure you take care of yourself along the way to success also. The other thing to look at is, how are you measuring it? This kind of gets back to how you define success. Are you measuring success only in terms of dollars? Are you measuring it only in terms of a promotion you get, or some other outside measurement? Not something that's really more internal, like how you feel about yourself, how you feel about your relationships that you have, how much joy and happiness you have in your life. What if we just decided that that was going to be the definition of success? What if you just tried that on for a little while? It's something that I'm trying on, that no matter what the external measurements are, that I can still feel successful and look at myself like a success when I'm doing the things that bring me joy, and when I am being of service and showing up in the world in a way that is in integrity with my values and who I am. What if you tried that on? Try that hat on for a little while as a definition of success. Now, it doesn't mean that I don't have goals that I want to reach. Absolutely, I have goals I want to reach. And frankly, the goals I want to reach reflect how I want to show up in the world, how many lives I want to impact. It's less about the dollars and more about the impact. And I'm not making it wrong if your goal is about the dollars. If you're in business for yourself, or you're just, in a career and you're earning money, you got to earn money to pay the bills, to pay for whatever home you live in, to buy the things for yourself and your family. There's nothing wrong with having financial goals. I used to be a financial planner, but broaden your definition of what success is so that you don't live or die by the dollar sign. That's a really good phrase. I should put that out as a tweetable. You don't live or die by the dollar sign, because that can just be a self-esteem killer. You know, I think in my own experience of being an entrepreneur, you know, that is maybe the hardest thing, is to continue to, feel good about yourself and stay motivated and keep going, even when the dollar signs aren't showing up in your bank account, when you're not booking the clients, when you're not making the money and you feel like a failure. That is so hard, you know, and it equally applies to, you know, if you're in a career and you feel like, you know, you're not getting ahead and you're failing in your career. You know, so when I'm talking about success here, I think if you incorporate more of what really matters to you as part of your definition of success and broaden that definition, then you can be successful every day, no matter how much money is in your bank account, no matter how many clients you're booking, no matter how much revenue is coming in your entrepreneurial business. And wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't that be awesome to feel successful? And you know, if you believe in the law of attraction and energy and vibration, if you feel successful, you're going to resonate with bringing more success into your life. That's another topic. And one I've actually talked on. So if you haven't seen my video, I think it's called How to Get More of What You Want, then definitely check out that video. Let's see. So I wanted to mention, if you are wanting to be more successful, not only from a dollar standpoint, but by doing more of what truly matters to you this summer, I have put together a free 7-day challenge called the Summer Bliss Business Challenge. It's specifically for mompreneurs. Sorry, guys. It's specifically for mompreneurs, to help them get out of the summertime juggle and really find the time that they need to work on their businesses and be with their families and have time for themselves this summer, so that you can feel successful in all areas of your life as you go through summer, and, you know, not stressed out and not overwhelmed. And I teach very practical strategies that you can apply immediately in this Summer Bliss Business Challenge. And it's happening next week. It's happening June 12th through 18th. We've already got a whole bunch of awesome mompreneurs signed up for the challenge, hundreds of them. And I would love for you to join too, if you're a mompreneur and you want to have more profits, more fun, and more family time, and more time for yourself this summer too. So you can do that by going to christineparma.com/join, and it will take you to the page with all the details on it and where you can also sign up. As always, I would love to hear your comments. I would love to hear what you think about success, what success means to you, what your definition of success is, and how you're going to maybe shift your perspective around what success is, so that you can feel more successful every day. Just simply type it in the comments below and I will reply personally. So that's it for tonight. I wish you an amazing evening. And I will be back next week. You'll actually see my face a little more often next week, because I will be doing the challenge and I'm going to be popping on Facebook Live to share about the challenge and what I'm teaching in the challenge just about every day. So I hope that you'll join me. So until then, take care and shine brilliantly. Bye-bye.